Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another interesting reading from Papa's Comic Books and Coffee. Today, I think we're going to take a different journey. Are you ready? Prophet by Image, number 1 from 1991. This is by Rob Liefeld and Dan Panasian. Now, don't forget, this book and others are available on my eBay page, papas-comic-books. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you didn't think. Tell me how you liked it. Tell me how stupid it was, okay? Let's get to it and get into this interesting book. Awakening in Berlin, Germany. After some 50 years of cryogenic sleep, Jonathan Prophet found himself out of place and out of time in a world far different than his own. Battling first the modern-day hero known as Youngblood before allying with them against Darkhorn and the android disciples he was created to combat, Prophet found himself cut off from DOCC, Direct Orsing Command Center, the orbiting satellite servicing as his central source of information and power. Eventually, defeating Darkhorn and disciples with the aid of Youngblood and a team of warriors calling themselves the Berserkers, Prophet set out to forge anew his link with DOCC, now accompanied by the diminutive berserker called Kiroi. Prophet seeks to reestablish contact not only with the satellite that serves as his lifeline, but with ever-changing world that seems to have passed him by. Excuse me, I'm still battling a cold. The dream. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. The Lord my God is with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table for me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with my oil. My cup runneth over. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23, 4, 6. God is of refuge and strength, a very present help in times of trouble. Therefore, will not we fear though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried in the midst of the sea. Psalm 46, 1. Prophet. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Thy name will read them under those that rise up against us. For I shall not thrust in bow, neither shall my sword save me. But thou hast saved us from our enemies and hast put them to shame that hated us. Psalm 44, 6, 8. Those passages race through my head, giving me confidence, giving me strength. I realize now that it's the same strength my father told me he experienced when he taught the word of God to the multitudes. The strength that would fill him with the spirit to go on, even against the forces of the Reich that would rise up to oppose him and eventually strike him down, taking a life dedicated to a higher cause. My father sacrificed his life for that cause, and in doing so would inspire his son to do the same. Not for money, not for power, but for cause. My body would be altered and enhanced, but my mind and soul would not. The beliefs my father taught me as a child, I still cling to as an adult. To combat evil in all its forms, to extinguish its many faces. Little did I know I would be a cause, would fight for what has seemed an eternity. After all the wars I have fought, all the lives lost, one thing remains the same. The light has always triumphed over dark. Troll, he's 3, 4. He's 2,000 years old, and he's looking for a good time. Big things come in small packages, Troll. It's troll time, partner. Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Hitler, Graves, Darkthorn, all lieutenants in the war against the light. I enter not knowing the continents of the latest lieutenant I face. Good Lord, no. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me of the table, John 22:2-1. Mary? No, how can it be? Can she see by my face the pain that I am feeling, the betrayal, the hurt, the hate? I feel my mouth form words as if to speak, but I cannot. Come on, Johnny, you can do it. Kirby, yes, it was the dream. The one and only pal. What's the matter, kid? You having nightmares again? Is this the dream? Where the end of some spaceship fighting yourself? Yes, that's the one. Look, kid, I don't know if it's the altitude, what? But this just ain't right. You have the same dream every night, yes, but it's each time it goes deeper. This time Mary was in it as well. Well, that's more like it, kiddo. Girls are a common thread in my dreams. No, it was nothing like that. She was against me, mocking me. Look, kid, bad dreams are a dime a dozen. Besides, there's a simple explanation for all this. You're weak. You need to reestablish your link with DOCC. That satellite is your life force. It makes you tick. It gives you the juice. Without that, you're sunk. My guess is that you won't be having any more nightmares once you get pumped up again. Besides, we need all the strength you got to pull this caper off. How much further are we, pilot? We're almost in range. It'll be another 15 minutes or so. I'll let you know when we're on top of it. Perfect. We got plenty of time to gear up for we make that jump. Look, John, are you sure you're going to do this? You realize what's at stake here, don't you? Well, that's what I'm here for. No, Kirby, I'm not quite sure. I understand all of this. It's all happening so fast. Well, that's what I'm here for. I didn't abandon my comrades, the Berserkers, to stay here for nothing, kid. I'm here to guide you and get you some answers. You have always been a great help to me, Kirby. It's just that I'm puzzled as to my very existence. It's not just this time or this place that puzzles me. It is my very existence. I do not understand what I've become. Must I admit I don't know that I've ever understood what I'm doing with Dr. Wells? I remember that it was a short time after my father had been murdered by Hitler's men. Being the eldest son in my family, I naturally took responsibility for mother and the younger brother. I took several jobs in order to get by, but no opportunity was greater than that of one Dr. Wells presented me with. I would subject my body to a series of experiments, and in turn, he would pay me handsomely. It was enough for me to get my family out of Germany and to get back to the States before war reached a fever pitch, but Dr. Wells had other plans. I began to realize that Wells was doing more than just research. I was part of a specific design, a plan to create a sort of superhuman. I was so caught up in his vision that I never thought to question his motives or where he received the funding for his superior technology and equipment. Dr. Wells was assured me that this experiment were not for the Reich. His contempt for Hitler was deep. There was no love for the Führers in Wells' heart. Days turned into weeks, and I began spending every waking hour at the lab, subjecting myself to test after grueling test. My family was being taken care of, and that's all that mattered to me. I was fortunate enough to meet you, Kirby. As Wells' young lab assistant, you befriended me and caused my worries and anxiety to pass. Then one day, Wells informed me that word of what we were doing in that leaked out to the Fuhrer Hitler, desired the fruits of Wells' labor. In order to avoid being discovered, we had to move quickly. I would be unable to contact my family to let them know what had happened. Wells assured me that both my family and Mary, my bride-to-be, would be taken care of. He told me I was to be a savior for all mankind, that I would combat an evil known as the disciples. I accepted Wells' word as gospel. I followed every instruction without question, embracing my destiny blindly, foolishly. Ain't nothing foolish about what you did, kid. There's a higher purpose for all of us. Your good book will tell you that much. Doc Wells did the best he could under the circumstances. We tried to conceal everything, yourself including. Did a pretty good job doing it, too, until you were prematurely discovered by that U.S. research expedition. What of the disciples Wells spoke of? What of the Great War? It's still coming, kid. You've just landed about 50 years before it. It's all in fan. Excuse me. Once we get you back up to the full power, we'll worry about the disciples. For now, though, we got to concentrate on breaking into that military installation and reestablish your link with DOCC. I am ready for whatever we must face, Kirby. I must rejoin with DOCC. My life, my destiny depends on it. Yeah, well, that's more like it. We didn't come all this way to Alaska so we could fail, kid. We got lucky that Youngblood let us go after a little run-in in Germany. Imagine their superiors weren't real thrilled when informed of the fact that they'd let the product of their expedition up and walk away from them. If my guess is correct, right about now, everybody and their mother is figuring out a way to get you back. Interlude, Washington, D.C. The interior of the Pentagon. I would like to conclude by stating that the bioengineering used in startling the transformation of John Prophet was advanced by even today's standards. The process altered Mr. Prophet's genetic structure, giving him accelerated strength, speed, and stamina, making him virtually indestructible, absolutely unstoppable. The mystery surrounding Prophet and his creator has yet to be resolved, but the information we've ascertained from Wells' diaries has given us enough to believe that given the proper funding, we can successfully duplicate the Prophet experiment. As we speak, John Prophet remains at large. I have been assured, though, by the agency's new liaison that the problem will be soon corrected. Gentlemen, may I introduce to you Mary McCormick, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I assure you that at this moment, our efforts in the matter have been stepped up. All of our available resources are working overtime in attempting to locate John Prophet. Youngblood and Bloodstrike teams have been notified and remain on standby in the event that they will be needed. We are intent on finding our man and will not stop until we have done so. Anchorage, Alaska, high above the Gate Research Center. Yahoo! Here we go, kid. There's no turning back now. It's all or nothing. They're parachuting in. If we don't pull this caper off, you're sunk. You need that juice that satellite link is going to supply to us. Remember, kid, you're a wanted man, and while breaking into the government research facility ain't exactly the way to go about improving your image, it's our last shot at hooking you up with the DOCC. You got any suggestions before we make our move? No, Kirby, I have prayed to the Lord for strength and wisdom regarding this matter. If you would like, I would pray for you too. Sorry, kid, praying not my style. I'm to halt. You are trespassing on private property. Surrender or suffer the consequences. It would appear the enemy is upon us, Kirby. You know, John Boy, that prayer stuff might not be such a bad idea after all. To be continued. Dun, 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 dun. And that's that. And there they are, getting ready to fight. Prophet, Extreme Studios. And there's Prophet. There's Prophet, that way. Art Thibert, Cover Supreme. The Blood's for Us. That was Prophet #1 from 1991. Little different book. Let me know what you thought about it. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Write in the comment how good it was, how bad it was. Don't forget, this book and other ones are available on my eBay page, Papa-Comic-Books, if you're interested. And as I always say, that was easy. Until next time, Papa is out.